The Acolyte is over, but that doesn't mean my theory brain has stopped functioning. I have a theory that's been brewing for a while, a theory that some consider to be unnatural. Spoilers for the Acolyte finale. So, Darth Plagueis is here. As Osha and Qimir fly off to Brendok, we see this terrifying creature skulking in the shadows of the cave. And if there was any doubt that this was Plagueis, listen to this.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not.
The show has been doing some heavy lifting in the musical motif department. First the Kylo Ren theme, and now the looming threat of Darth Plagueis for Season 2 in this motif from the opera. But that's not what's piquing my theory crafting. It's this.
He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
You're alive.
Back when Qimir was still Vernestra's Padawan, I believe that he started to fall to the dark side and Vernestra had to fight him. In the book A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland, go read this book, it's freaking amazing. Vernestra also has to deal with a Padawan who is falling to the dark side. They go on a rampage, and before they end up killing people, Vernestra has to fight him to snap him out of it. I believe the same thing happened with Qimir, only this time it resulted in that large scar that's on his back, and possibly the wound that was inflicted caused him to fall to his death. This is when Plagueis finds Qimir, uses the midichlorians to keep him from dying, and nurses him back to health, possibly as part of his own experiments with Tenebris. Much like he does with Venomous, he resurrects Qimir, leaving nothing but the mask. Qimir wakes up alive on this mysterious planet and finds the mask. He dons it only to enter a trance where he relives the horror of Vernestra failing him. This is when the whispers of the dark side enter his mind via Plagueis and begins to sow the seeds of discord that he had only just begun to open. Now, I don't think Plagueis is interfacing with Qimir in any way. Plagueis, for the most part, only cares about the data, and so he very much leaves Qimir to his own devices, all while whispering Sith nothings into his ear. I believe that Plagueis was peering into Osha's mind and rummaging through her memories to see what the Jedi have been up to. One thing's for sure, Qimir hinting that he was a Jedi a long time ago, and Vernestra being surprised he's still alive, makes me think that Plagueis had revived him and kept him alive longer than the normal human lifespan.
You speak as if you were a Jedi.
I was. A long time ago.
I've never heard of you.
It was a really long time ago.
And so at present, Plagueis watches from the shadows and collects data on May and Osha's creation, but as of now is interested in collecting data on Qimir training Osha. As with the Rule of Two, the Power of Two, and the Sith's Doctrine of the DYAD, it would only make that much more sense that Plagueis' interest is piqued with the twins. As we learn in the book Secrets of the Sith, the Rule of Two was but a facsimile of the original creed of the Sith, the Doctrine of the DYAD, what Palpatine had witnessed during the sequel trilogy. As the book states, for a millennium the Sith have adhered to the Rule of Two, but this decree is said to merely be a pale imitation of its predecessor, the Doctrine of the DYAD. Legends claim that two beings sharing this profound connection gain access to a great number of abilities, skills beyond the grasp of even the most powerful Force wielder. The Doctrine of the DYAD was etched onto the walls of my citadel on Exegol eons ago, a constant reminder of its significance to our order. To my Sith Eternal, the DYAD is not merely the stuff of ancient legend, it is the future of the Sith. Plagueis is in pursuit of immortality, resurrection, saw the possibility of the DYAD in the twins, and thus the experiment with the Coven from the shadows began. The revelation from Sol that Anastasia may have created life using the virgins on the planet shifted to Qimir with a look that almost implies he may have felt this power before, when he was revived. Where all this kind of spirals is when Qimir finds out about Plagueis. Plagueis then learns that Osha and May were not one such dyad, but a perversion of a vergence in the Force. Plagueis excommunicates Qimir from the Sith, and Qimir splinters off to form what is known as the Knights of Ren. In Secrets of the Sith, they say this about the Knights of Ren. Those who dwell in the unknown regions have long whispered legends of the Knights of Ren. This band of marauders was said to have burned their way across worlds, consuming everything in their path. In recent years, an enclave of warriors stepped from the darkness to claim that name and the fear it instilled as their own. So already the Knights of Ren from the sequel trilogy is but an offshoot of the original. The Knights of Ren do not adhere to any code, doing whatever they must to triumph. The price to join their fabled ranks is simple. Choose a worthy target and give them a good death. Or is it to kill them without a weapon? I'm just kidding. Again, as I said in my finale review, I absolutely love that this show has opened up the floodgates to theory crafting and speculation once again in Star Wars. With Andor, it was what will happen next. With the Bad Batch, it was Project Necromancer and how the Bad Batch and Omega were going to survive. But this show has brought us onto our first steps into the canon story of Plagueis, the Sith, the Rule of Two, and the lore behind it all at the same time potentially giving us some lore on the Knights of Ren, the original iteration of them. Of course, that's if all of this is true, because that's just a theory. I want season 2. Give it to me now!